Hello, everybody. My name is Graydon, and you are watching VGU.tv. What am I doing here? I never show my face. No one ever shows their face on this channel. Well, today, I decided on this late night evening, what is it? 10 of 11 p.m. I wanted to finally tackle this piece that I always do every year, which is a wrap-up of PAX East and the games that I saw. And every year I write out my top 5 or my top 10 games that I saw there. Pardon me if I'm not looking in the camera correctly. I'm trying a new thing with the setup, and it may or may not be good. So, yeah. And also the background is maybe going to be blurred out. I don't know. We'll see. So, what am I doing? Well, like I said, every year I do a write-up, and this year I thought, you know what? I've waited a long time to do this. How about I do a video? So, I'm going to try to do a fairly short little video here of indies on the horizon that I played at PAX East way back in April, May, but mainly, none of them are out yet, I'm pretty sure. I'm not doing my research, but I just want to shine a spotlight on them and let you guys know what games you should be looking out for. So I'm going to start with a game that has very little development going on, or very little in terms of developed product, called Urban Warriors Vigilante Justice. If you know anything about my strategy with PAX East and these gaming conventions in general, I always say, go to any open table and sit down at it. If there's a controller, if there's a keyboard open, just go and sit and see for yourself. And so the first game that I played this year was Urban Warriors Vigilante Justice. Now, this game is being developed, I believe, by one man who had told me at the time that his wife had booked to the table a couple weeks prior and said, "You've got to make a game now," essentially. And so he did. And it was surprisingly fun. I played with a father and son and another dude. It has 4-player co-op, much like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle type arcade games of yesteryear. If I can find gameplay, I will put it right here. But yeah, so it's very bare bones right now. There wasn't a whole lot to do. There was a survival type. Actually, there's a versus mode where we all kind of fought each other on a rooftop, and then there was a quick level where we actually got to go through the town, picking up items and just fighting enemies, and just a top-down. I really enjoyed the art style. It kind of reminded me of it was rubbery looking, kind of like an Invincible type of art. It's very hard to describe, but just the models looked like they were ripped out of something like Invincible. He told me they were just 3D assets that he found, so that's cool. I hope that is illegal. And I think that it has potential, definitely. He's got to do a lot of work with it, and it's not in any close to finished capacity, but yeah, hopefully I see it at the next year's show. This list is in no very random order, so the next one I believe may be out now, but I want to talk about it anyway. Autopsy Simulator. It is kind of what it sounds like. You play as a mortician that is doing autopsies. Fully voiced storyline, very, very, very interesting narrative going on from the demo that I played. You are going into your office, you have a cadaver, you are doing an autopsy on a person, and it's very cool. I mean, I just realized that my phone could die at any moment. I should probably plug it in. Pardon me as I keep looking for my charger while I'm talking. So, yeah, you're doing an autopsy. Much like other Sims, you do a lot of, simulatory things, like looking for the injuries and doing some paperwork stuff and trying to figure out like how to do blood transfusions or whatever the hell is involved with being a mortician. It's kind of complex, but mainly just fun. And what really like blew me away about this game was I'm not one for horror games at all. This is so fucking hard to find. Where is my cord? I am not one for horror games at all, and I kind of expected a spooky vibe from this, but not what I got. It actually had a kind of a plot twist at the end that made it very scary, like in the demo, and I was just like, I actually want more from this, which was surprising. You can probably hear my bag crinkling, can't you? That's terrible. Oh my god, the cord was attached to it the whole time. Pardon me while I figured things out here. Alright, I changed my angle a little bit, but I wanted to make sure that my phone wasn't going to be like low power mode and then cancel my video. Anyway, Autopsy Simulator, I'll put a bit of gameplay up right about here. But yeah, definitely a cool vibe if you're into simulators or horror, like survival, not even survival horror, suspense type of games. It's gonna be cool for you. It's definitely one of the more memorable games from PAX that I walked away from being like, I want more of this game, and I want it soon. And I think we're gonna get it soon too. Supposedly its release date should have already happened and got pushed out. I don't know if it's out yet. If it is, I will let you know on screen. Yeah. This one, very simple to talk about. Hopefully there's gameplay that I can pop up right here. Bomb Sorters. It is very similar to games like Star Wall, games like Capsule Force, just kind of a clusterfuck, a spider heck, a clusterfuck. These party games, these local party games, basically what you had was a sword and the ability to hit bombs with that sword. And you're just kind of knocking bombs all over the screen. There was a tutorial that we all played, and it did describe some other rules, which I can't totally remember right now. But the gist of it was hitting bombs toward the screen, and then they stayed, like they took up the screen, which reminds me of some kind of like Atari type of game, which I can't remember. Maybe Missile Command? Am I thinking Missile Command, where you had like an explosion and it stayed? Yeah, kind of like that. Weird making Missile Command into a party game, but it works, and it was a lot of fun. I love those local co-op party games. I played it with like 6 randos, and we had a great time. So definitely looking forward to that one, and I hope that it comes to consoles, because right now it's only slated for PC, but perfect console party game. Another perfect console party game is Belly Bumpers. Another very simple game. Hopefully there is gameplay for it here. You play as a fat ball of jelly man, and you're in an arena, and the whole goal is to walk around and eat as much food as you can to get fatter, and that makes your belly bigger and your bounce, like your attack, essentially harder, but your movement and your jumping is also slower and harder. So it's harder to get away from people, but if you can get a hit in, you're going to have the hardest hits. Very bare bones, super bare bones party game, which I love. Those things you can just jump in, hey, we're going to do this thing, like a Nidhogg, And I can see that kind of thing where it's like, you can just have a stalemate that goes on forever. Or like Gang Beasts, where you just, we're just in an arena. We know what we're here to do. But if you got people who are good at it, then you're going to be at it for a while. Sorry that I'm jumping between looking at the camera and looking at myself. Mainly I'm looking at myself because it's weird to be doing this at all. But yeah, that's Belly Bumpers, and it was surprisingly a lot of fun. A lot of these on my list because I just didn't play a whole lot this year, but I watched a lot. I walked past a lot of booths and I just kind of stared at some demos. So I don't have a whole lot to say about things, but I'm just kind of getting out the smaller ones out of the way. Unleaving hopefully has some gameplay. I really hope there's some kind of trailer or something. I'll put it right here. Unleaving was like a Limbo if it was hand painted. Like, just that's all I can really say about it. Gorgeous visual, really watercolory, very colorful, side-scrolling platformer. The biggest draw about this game was that they had one demo, like one computer, and then one of the developers or just a woman that they had hired painted the whole time. Like, they painted and painted this beautiful piece of art that was just kind of sitting there. And so I was there Saturday and Sunday being the final day, and they had put a notice up next to the painting on Sunday, and they were like, we're sorry, we're a small team from like Sweden or something. We need to get Switzerland, maybe. We need to like get back home early. Sorry, our demo is gone, but please follow our game. So I wanted to shout out their game. It was called Unleaving. Looks beautiful. Very excited to see more of it. Another game that I'm excited to see more of is Primal Omen. This is a game about dinosaurs. I love games about dinosaurs. Very, very underloved, underutilized genre of games, and I was very happy to see indie games go into that a bit. How do you describe Primal Omen? Third person over the shoulder exploration? It looked kind of linear, but basically your demo, you were playing as this woman. She is finding dinosaurs, being chased by dinosaurs. There's a big T-Rex, of course, and it just looks cool. You got a gun, dinosaurs. The physics weren't the best. I think they're going to be working on that. I don't know how far along this one was. It was more just I watched it. I didn't get to play it. They only had 2 demos, so but it looked unique, and I'm a sucker for dinosaurs, so why the hell not? Right next to Primal Omen, however, was a game that I am super stoked for. I did get to play this one, and it was a 1v2, might have been 1v3, actually, horror exploration type of game. So this is called Hyde's Haunt and Seek. And essentially, one person is the seeker, and either 2 or 3 people are the ghosts. I want to say it was 2. 2 people are the ghosts. And the ghosts go and they run around and they hide shit. And then the guy goes in and he tries to find the shit that has been hidden. But the ghosts are still there. And he has a flashlight beam that can, like, shoot the ghosts, stun the ghosts. But the ghosts are also trying to constantly get around and keep the things from being taken, like being found. So a ghost can go and shake up a couch or knock over a painting or something and kind of mess with him. And there's no like fear level. I wish there was like a fear level, but it's not scary. It's really not that scary. It's more of just a fun little party game. The best way to describe it is Nintendo Land for the Wii U. The Luigi's Mansion minigame. It's basically that, but first person. So the ghosts are first person, the seekers are. Actually, the ghosts, I think, use a top-down in the beginning, which is cool. They might the whole time, actually. I wasn't a ghost. I was a seeker. But the ghosts might use top-down like the minigame. So it's very inspired by that. You can tell that influence. But yeah, just a lot of fun. Like, the biggest thing about that game is that it was fun. It was cool to meet up with different people. I didn't know the ghosts I was playing with, but we all had a great time together, and that's the beauty of an event like PAX. But yeah, just something about that style of game. It's just unique. It's just something you don't see a lot, and it was really cool to have that experience. So I really hope that they add a lot of cool content, cool locations and powers and whatever to this game, because Hyde's Haunt and Seek definitely one that's high on my list. All right, getting to the end of my list here. I have so many games. I don't really have so many games. I tried some games I didn't like Gollum. And we've seen how that turned out. But yeah, this is like my final 3 here. I'll start with WrestleQuest. If you haven't played WrestleQuest yet, you're missing out. There's been demos in the Steam Next Fest. It's awesome. I'm very sad that it keeps getting delayed. And honestly, it might be out by the time you see this video. Hopefully not. Well, I mean, for your sake, hopefully, because it's a great game. But hopefully this game, this gets to... I'm running out of things to say. I also didn't put the footage up of those other games. That was stupid. I hope I do it in post. I'll just do it in post. Anyway, WrestleQuest. Bah! And shameless plug to our demo that I believe Alan played, if not Josh. That was a while ago, granted, that demo, but I believe it's a similar thing. And yeah, just basically WrestleQuest isometric, I believe that is. It's a, what is it? Turn-based brawler? I don't know how the hell to describe it. There's exploration with like an overworld that feels like an old school Zelda game, but then it goes into like turn-based combat that involves a lot of wrestling moves, wrestling tropes, like keeping the crowd interested, and manager attacks and tag-based attacks. If you're a wrestling fan, this is for you. There's a lot of homages to wrestlers, and I think even some of them did voice acting for it. Like, there's just a lot of cute references to the world of wrestling. And yeah, I'm very excited for it. It's a Skybound game. It's gonna be awesome. A lot of people have played it. They think it's awesome. That's WrestleQuest. And I believe it's coming to Game Pass, but I may be wrong. But definitely, that's one to look for. My next game, Pacific Drive. I have said so much about this game. I'll actually, another shameless plug, and I'll put it in the description. I talked about it back on the Players Club that went up shortly after me and Emmett's trips to PAX East. And I talked all about Pacific Drive, so I will be brief here. It is a run-based exploration game. Roguelike car... I forget what they called it. Rogue driver? Drive-like? God, what the fuck do they call it? It's a car-based roguelike game. So you build a car like in a mechanic simulator, and then you take that car into what's called the exclusion zone, and you're out there getting supplies, trying to avoid nuclear radiation and giant attacks where the world is shifting around you. And then you hope to get the fuck out of there before the sky goes all red dawn and you are caught out there with nothing. I lost my car halfway through the demo and just had to wander around and watch the sun rise and destroy me with radiation. So it was a time, but really cool game. Like, just such a genuinely unique concept, which is what I love about indie games. You know me. And yeah, I'll put that some gameplay right up in here. They have showed this game at some state of plays, so if it sounds familiar, that is why. I have to blow my nose so fucking bad, but I can't find tissues, so I'm going to make it through this video. Anyway, Pacific Drive, definitely worth checking out. And it's on my radar. It's one of my most anticipated games, hands down right now, because it's just going to be super unique. And I'm not even a big roguelike guy, or a car mechanic simulator guy for that matter, but I just think it looks so cool. And they really put a lot of thought into what you can do with this car, what you can do with this world. And it's just like your car is going to be your companion. That's like your baby for the for the game, and they did something really neat with that. So I'm very, very excited. Finally, my game of the show was a thing called Begone Beast. Not sure. I think there is a trailer, so roll it. Whoa. Whoa. I don't know if this is working. Begone Beast is super early in development, but the joy of it was that it did not feel that way. Literally, the demo was held together by a person on a laptop pressing buttons to activate different parts of the level because they only had certain bits and pieces we could play. However, the game was the coolest fucking thing I'd seen. This is genuinely isometric dungeon crawler where you play as child animals like a little frog, a little rabbit, and they all have their own attacks, abilities. You go into the dungeon and you fight the most terrifying monsters you could ever think of. This one was a giant guy made of hands, and he chases you, and then he has a multi-leveled boss fight. It's horrific, but so much fun to play with random people, or definitely people that you know. And I don't know, it was all there. All the pieces were there. Like, there was level up, but power-ups, the music was good, the physics felt nice, like everything just was fluid and felt great, with the exception of one of the characters just being in a constant T-pose. Like, the shopkeep for your upgrades was just kind of T-posing, but otherwise everything just felt like I barely believed them when they were like, oh yeah, this is gonna be like holiday next year. I was like, this will be ready to go by the end of this year. But no, they assured me that it was not near done for them, which is fine. That is great. Like, keep it up, do your thing. I will just crave more of this game. So that was my Penny Arcade Expo 2023. Went a little long here, but I'm happy that I got to do something. I really want to do some more video content, hopefully in a room that looks a little cleaner, with a background that looks more professional earlier in the day, because it is now 11:15 and I'm very tired. But I wanted to do something and finally get this out there, because that's the thing about PAX. Like, a lot of these games are always just going to be in development for a while. I'm still seeing games that I saw. This is like, I think, my 10th PAX, and there are games that I've seen for many, many years coming, and like, just sometimes they're updating, sometimes they're not even close to coming out. And that's fine. You're watching the development. You're talking to the developers. That is what's so cool. So I always encourage people to go to these gaming conventions, play indies, be a part of that culture. There's just so much creativity and talent out there for these people that aren't getting all the press and all of the accolades. And like, be a champion for these smaller voices. Try new things. Like, these games are here for us to grow and this industry to grow. So thank you to everybody who was at PAX, who made this PAX really great and special. Thank you to these people on the list for giving me something to look forward to, some games to really look forward to, because I'm super stoked for everything I just mentioned, and even some more. So, yeah, and thank you for watching, and hopefully subscribing, and we will hit you up with all the cool indie game content you could ever want right here at VGU TV. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.